Consider a country with 4 states and 30 seats in Congress, and populations distributed as in the table below. So here we have the 4 states A, B, C, and D, and their corresponding populations. We see that there are 30 seats in Congress. This means that there are 30 people to assign, 30 representative spots to assign between these 4 states. What we're having here, what you see here, is a table that I like to use to organize. Okay, you don't have to use it, but on an assessment or something, I will give you this table so that you can keep your work nice, neat, and orderly. So I would encourage you to draw them on your papers, draw them out when you're working on homework to help yourself get organized and also to be able to practice in the way you're going to be asked to show your work as you go through. While we're still fresh on this and we're learning, I'm going to do some side work over here where I show where the values come from that are going into the chart, okay? Because I want you to be able to look back at this. I want you to be able to look at your notes as you're working on your homework and really see where these numbers are coming from and hopefully clear up some of that confusion. All right, so to begin, we have to know our total population, because the divisor is the total population divided by the number of representatives. So in this case, the total population, we don't have right away. We do have the number of representatives, but we don't have the total population yet. We need to add all of the populations together. So we're going to add down this column, and that's what goes in that last box there where it says total. All right, when I add these, which by the way, you should have your scientific calculator, you should be practicing using your scientific calculator because on an assessment, you're going to be doing this all by hand. All right, so add the values together. You should get 189,000. Excuse me. So 189,000 divided by 30 is equal to 6,300. I know I'm not showing you how I'm typing it in, but that's a fraction, that's a division. 189,000 divided by 30 is equal to 6,300. That is my divisor. Now these quotas, we will have a different quota for every state. So you see we're working across the rows here. The quota that I put in this box will be my quota for state A. And again, the quota is in an ideal world, that's how many people would be assigned. All right, the way you find the quota is it's state A's population, A population divided by the divisor. So that is 27,500. I looked over here at state A's population, 27,500 divided by 6,300. Because that was the divisor. That's why you start with the total population, find the divisor, and now you can find all of the quotas. All right, when we put that in, we should get 4.3651. I round to 4 decimal places. Okay, that's enough information. It's probably even more information than you need, but you need at least 2 or 3 to make sure that when we come to that final allocation, the final addition, apportionment of adding those extras, you need a couple decimal places to make sure who is actually winning. So I would encourage you to just get in the habit of writing 4 because it's extra safe. All right, I'm going to put that over in my quota box now. And as you get more comfortable when you're working on homework and stuff, you don't need to write out all of these divisions, all right? I would recommend you write the divisor somewhere, but then you can go through and just find all of the quotas and write them straight in there if you're comfortable. I'm actually going to write a few more of them over here so you can, again, later see where this is coming from. Quota B is going to be B population divided by the divisor. All right, state B's population was 38,300 divided by the divisor, which was 6,300. That should be 6.0794. And then I'm going to put that in my table as well. All right, state C or quota C is going to be C's population divided by 6,300. D is going to be D's population divided by 6,300. Go ahead and pause and see if you can fill in the rest of those quotas, and then hit play, and I will fill them in right now as well. All right, I got 7.3810, 12.1746. Now, again, the quota is ideally, we would have 4.3 people assigned to state A, 6.0 or 6.1 people assigned to B, 7.4 assigned to C, 12.2 assigned to D. That's not happening. You can't have 0.3 of a person, 0.1 of a person, 0.7 of a person. You can't have a fraction of a person assigned to represent someone. All right, so that's where the initial and final, depending on the method, will come into play. But what we've done so far is the start of all of our methods. It's always going to start by finding the total population, finding the divisors, writing out the quotas, which is each state's population divided by that divisor. All right, so for Hamilton's, we have an initial, which is just the cutoffs, meaning my initial for every one of these states are going to be these numbers in front of the decimals. So for state A, they would get for sure 4 representatives. They would get 6 representatives, 7 and 12. You just go through and pretend like these aren't written there. And that's the initial allocation. All right, for each of these states, that's how many people they would get. And then we have the total still at the bottom to see how many people have actually been assigned so far. 12, 19, 25, 29. I just added those together on my way up. 29 people have been assigned so far. But how many people did we have? We had 30 seats in Congress. We had 30 representatives. So we need to give someone one more. Only one more person can be assigned. And in Hamilton's method, we look for the highest decimal value in order to assign. All right, we have 0.3, 0.0, 0.3, and 0.1. Well, 3 is higher than 1 and 0, so they're out. But this is why we need more than just one decimal place. You have to have several places in order to compare. 0.36 versus 0.38. Which one's bigger? 0.38 is bigger. Therefore, state C is the one that gets the extra representative. They get 1 extra. So our final allocation is 4, 6, 8, and 12. Those are the numbers that each state, the number of seats they would receive in this Congress. And if I add all those together, 12 plus 8 is 20, plus 6 is 26, plus 4 is 30, which ends at all of the seats being assigned. So this is our final allocation, our final answer on how many seats every single one of these states would get using Hamilton's method. So real quick, one more time. Hamilton's is where we find the divisor, find the quota. That's always how we start. But then for Hamilton specifically, you cut off all the decimals and then you add any left over to the highest place decimals, the ones that were closest to the next whole number.